if you're brand new to the Elevate network, you may have only just logged in for the first time today. What you'll see on the homepage on your desktop, I've just got a question from Owen. 1 second, let me just come back in. Do you want to unmute yourself? And there's a hand raised. Oh, is that you saying that you can see it? Thank you. If you are, if you have a question, please do feel free to unmic yourself. Otherwise, thank you for letting me know you can see the screen. On the desktop of your laptops or computers, when you log into the Elevate network, this is the thing that you will see. It's relatively familiar to most people as kind of a feed or a timeline. Now, unlike Facebook, etc., we are not driven by algorithms and complicated AI that is seeking to capture your attention in order to sell you advertising. This is a reflection of a combination of the latest posts and some of the most engaging posts that are getting most kind of comments and responses. So you'll get a full set of posts in here that correspond with what we've posted and what our members have posted. You can customize it by your own activity. You can look at it from us as the host of the platform. You can actually customize it by people near you, so you can see who's posted in the people near you. You can filter by different post types. We do lots of different polls and questions, events. So you can actually go in and filter the feed by these various different things to actually help you see more of the type of content that you want to find. You can also sort by the latest activity, the distance that you've, again, relating to people near you. That's if you've added your location, and then what's trending or popular now. So you can filter your feed in a way that best suits you. You'll see here there's some featured content. This is manually curated by us. We update this over time, but that's things that we think are important for you to learn about. For example, the podcast library, which is a new feature, which I'll talk about in a moment. But yes, this is the place when we talked about the first C, the place for people to share their ideas, their thoughts, their questions, the content. You know, you'll see lots of people on here posting stories, links to other things. It's a place for you to share content that's important to you. Now, this is all broken down by topics. So we've recently, in the last week, revamped the topics. We used to have a long list of different topics, but what we found was that people weren't necessarily using those topic headings. Things were getting categorized incorrectly, and it just became a bit of a information architecture mess. So we've simplified it now into a series of smaller categories. So that when you join the network, this is where people introduce themselves. So it's a good way to go and find out about our new members. People often share a little bit about themselves and why they're here, their bios, etc. So you can actually go and find out about our members there. This is our announcement topic. So if there's any upcoming events or changes we're making as an organization, or new features or campaigns we're supporting, you'll see that in our announcements feed. I'll just give you an example. So you'll see today updates on our courses, updates on our events. You'll see all of that in that topic. So if you want to filter the timeline by topic, this is the place to come. You'll find our podcasts. You'll also now find any campaigns or actions that we are currently engaged in or supporting. And if there are campaigns and actions that are happening out in the world that you'd like us to feature or to prioritize here, again, you're welcome to share those with us. So this is a new topic. We've just shared the Free Julian Assange campaign that took place this weekend. There's more to come on that. We also supported the global walkout and continue to support the global walkout. So there's various different campaigns that you'll see in here. So you can, if you want to quickly find out what kind of campaigns are happening right now, you can go directly to there. Now, for most of the posts that you will make in the network yourselves, this is our primary feed now. So what's happening out there? What we've learned over the last 8 months is what most people are generally sharing as resources about some of the kind of breaking news and topical content that's happening out in the world. And most of those things that are shared generally relate to the types of topics that we're speaking about on the podcast. So when you click on this feed, you'll see that there are stacks of posts here from all of our members sharing different resources, videos, articles, posts. So when you're making your own posts on the network, that's the most likely place that you would generally post. We've also got recommended resources. This is a new topic. So it's a place for you to share books, documentaries, podcasts, not necessarily specific episodes, but if there's a new show you've discovered, for instance, it's a place for you to share that. It's the kind of your favorite go-to resources, as opposed to individual news stories. It's more about, have you seen Neil Oliver's show on GB News, for example? Just front of mind, because I'd seen that someone had posted about GB News. And then lastly, we've got ideas and suggestions. So if you've got ideas for a podcast or a guest that we should be featuring, something new for the network, a new feature, or some new campaign or action that we could take on board, this is a great place for you to then share within the network. So all of the topics I've just shown you on the home feed, you'll also see are tagged with the relevant topic. So I showed you the hello and introductions topic, so you can see then all of the new posts, some new people who've joined. And if we found something that's an Elevate announcement, if you click on that, it'll just take you to the topic. So it's interconnected with the home feed. And the way to post on the timeline up here is by, you can either write a quick post by just typing in here, and you can add a topic. Again, you would most likely add what's happening out there. It's most likely to be the topic you're adding. Or you can expand it to an article where you can then add videos, you can add different forms of media, you can embed other things, you can add files, so it's a more comprehensive way to post. So we encourage you to, when you're part of the community, do share the things that you're finding out in the outside world, do share your thoughts and feelings. This is a place for you to share your ideas, the content that you're looking at, and the things that you're passionate about relating to the topics that we're focused on here at Elevate. So this is for you to work with, and you can post photos, you can post polls, you can add GIFs, there's emojis, all the stuff you would expect to find. You can schedule a post for later if you want. There's all kinds of different ways you can interact and share with the network. The topics I've showed you, these have been revamped and updated. There's a few on there that we may introduce in the coming weeks. For me, I'm a little concerned about it all being news orientated. Maybe we need something in there that's a bit more uplifting and inspiring content. The next kind of, the big two things that came after the 3 C's were 2 S's, systems transformation and self-care. So potentially I think there's scope to look at topics around systems transformation and self-care being mental, emotional, physical well-being, I suppose. And so perhaps there's room for us to expand our topics, but we'll take a look at some of the things that you've shared. And again, you'll find the right place to post. Most things will go into what's happening out there, but again, we'll take your feedback as you get to grips with the network. Now, on the left-hand side, you'll see the events. It shows live right now. Whenever there's a live event taking place, you'll see it here on the screen. You're in the meeting with us tonight. The network or town hall meeting. We'll be arranging a lot more events for the next couple of months. You'll see them all here. You'll see our online events, but you'll also see some of the protests, some of the other physical events. And again, we're looking to our members to share what's going on out there in the world. We're pretty well connected, but we can't be tapped into everything. So if there's events happening that are relevant, that you think are relevant to the Elevate network that we should be sharing, do let us know. We'll get them posted and share them with our members. It's a great way for us to share what's happening out in the world. So you can find the events in here. You can also see all of our past events, things that have gone before us. Up until now, we included our podcast in here as well, but that's going to change going forward, so we don't confuse the events with content. Now, in terms of getting to know each other, there's a couple of features, the community features I'd like to flag. Firstly, over here on the left-hand side, you've got members. Now, you've got top members based upon people who are most active within the community. So the people listed at the top here are most regular members who are posting, commenting, responding, etc. Of course, you'd expect to see myself and Felicity as the top 2, hopefully. Felicity's community manager on the team, and obviously I'm driving all the content. But then you'll see all of our members here who are most active in the network. What's a question we get a lot is, are there people near me within the community? Well, the good news is if you've added your location on your profile, you can click near you, and it will show you the members who are nearest you based upon your location. So I'm based in Bristol, and you can see here all of our members from Bristol. There's a great contingent of us from Bristol. We hosted our first pilot event here several weeks ago to a packed room. You know, wherever you're based, it will show the people within a certain radius of where you are located. That's if you've added your location. So it's a great way to find members near you. We do have a friendly community here, so you can follow people who are in your area. You can also chat. You can send them a message. You can create a group chat. You know, if you wanted to, you could group a chat together from everyone in your area and say hello. People do want to connect more locally. You can also see who's online now. If you wanted to strike up a conversation with someone who's in the network, you can also do that. So it's a great feature for you to connect with people near you. Now, we've also got this section here called expertise, which at this moment in time is where people share the different skills that they have. So again, you can find people, if you're looking for people who are experts in common law, for instance, you've got people here who are interested in common law. If you're interested in farming and food production, we've got people there, food and nutrition. So unfortunately, the system only at this point allows you to add one expertise. We have fed it back. We'd love to, you know, for you to add more than one. The system has a limitation at this moment. We can just add one. We may make some changes here to actually streamline the expertise to specific categories that are related to the kind of change initiatives that we're looking to create. This is obviously a very expansive list, but it's under evaluation at the minute. But if you wanted to find people in the network who are interested in certain things, say, let's say alternative therapies, it's a popular topic, you can go and see all of the members there and what they've posted, who they are, their bios, etc., what they've shared. So it's a great way, again, to find people by interest as well as the topics and location. So with these things, you can't break the system. So even if you're a technophobe, mindlessly clicking won't do any harm. So if you're not used to using tools like this, please feel free just to go click through. You won't break anything. You're very welcome just to go and look things up. And if you get stuck, you know, Felicity's on hand inside the network to help you figure out your challenges. We're also looking for some additional volunteer members to come and help us with the community management, which we'll talk more about in a moment. So that's members and expertise. Now, we've also got groups. These were previously called circles, but circles weren't necessarily the most, I like the term, but it's not the most intuitive term, but it basically meant groups. So we've set up a number of groups now, and we've introduced a brand new group now called Amplify Elevate. Part of our goal is to generate active participants in change. A lot of our members are actively sharing content online. So I suppose you could describe this as our kind of keyboard warrior group. We want to gather people together to amplify and help share both our content that we're creating as a brand, but also to share some of the campaign work that we're supporting and also other high impact topics. So we're going to make this group live tomorrow. I think we're going to certainly make it live soon. So if you're interested in coming here to help raise awareness of the different issues that we're kind of participating in, we invite you to come and be part of the Amplify group, where we're going to kickstart this. We're going to look for some volunteers to come and help manage this, but it's all about how do we get the cutting edge content out there? How do we share campaigns? How do we how can we amplify messages online? You know, how do we put messages out there? How do we respond to people's criticism? How do we engage in conversation? We're going to have all of that inside of this group, plus some success stories from those who have been able to share messaging and content with others. So it's really about how do we get powerful messaging out into the world. So you'll be able to join that group very shortly. We've also got the Bristol group. So if you're in Bristol, we invite you to join the Bristol group. This is based off our pilot event that we hosted in the city. We do, one of the most requested features that we've had is regional groups. So we're looking for someone to take this group on and lead it from within Bristol. So if you're in Bristol right now and fancy helping us out in terms of being an ambassador for the Bristol area, then we'd love to hear from you. We're in the process of figuring out a regional plan about how we can expand upon regional groups like this, but we do need a strategy to make sure it's effective and doesn't just lead to lots of kind of vacant, inactive groups on the platform. So we need to figure out how we can make it engaging and get people involved. The software we use is also due an update, which is going to make regional groups really easy. So it's something that we're responding to in terms of feedback. We want to do more. And again, if you've got ideas about how to make regional groups and initiatives work, we would love to hear from you. We've got a regional ambassador group where we've got just over 30 people who've come together to help us shape the regional proposition. So if you're interested in supporting regional groups, regional connections, do let us know. We'd love to set up some conversations with you to talk about how we can form regional connections and get people together on a local level. Over time, there'll be other groups here. The Camp Out attendees, for those who attended Camp Out this year, any big events that we run will probably have private groups like this where the people who attended those specific events can connect with each other after the event. So there'll be lots more to come here, but the new feature that we're most excited about is this Amplify group, where it's all about getting external messaging out into the world and starting to influence the tide when it comes to some of the key themes that we're working on. So we'd love you to come and join us inside the Elevate group. So you can just click view and join once it's live. Felicity, is that group live now? Can people join it already? You still there, Felicity?
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted. Yes, it's live, Dan.
It's live. So, okay. So if you're interested in joining that group, then you can go ahead and for me, it says view group because I'm already inside it, but for you, it'll say join group. So if you're interested in joining that group, then you can go ahead and join that group after the event, and we'll be getting that started very shortly. So that's an exciting initiative that we're looking forward to doing to get some of this counter narrative material out into the world at scale. So watch this space. Now, here's what we're most excited about, what we've been working on flat out in advance of this session. We've created an enormous amount of content over the last couple of years. We've run some incredible events with some amazing people, but it's all been very much scattered across the network. So now in the content and courses section, a brand new section, we've got some key new segments that I'm going to walk you through now. We've got the podcast library, which does what it says on the tin. It's a simple catalog of all of our, certainly so far, all of our Elevate podcasts. And we've got a selection of our pandemic podcasts that we're starting to add to it as well. We're bringing forward some of the most relevant and evergreen content that still are important today, and categorizing it by issues. So you can go through. We're going to be tidying up some of these titles because they're not the best titles in the world. Some of the episodes, we're going to revisit some of our episode titles. But you'll be able to go through and see any of the critical content. So for instance, the Christopher Choate interview we did on the vaccine harms bill, you can watch the episode live. We're going to add the audio as well. You can see what the episode is about. You can share it. So it's the full library of content by topic. So it's going to make it much easier to navigate our content, some of our incredible interviews by topic. So this is always going to be up to date. You'll be able to see all of the different content we've got, and you can find the content that's most relevant for you. You can share it online. You can click, where's the share button? Where's the share? Copy the episode ID. Okay, technical detail, don't know how to share it yet. Watch this space. Is that it there? More. Okay, hold that thought. I need to learn how to share the content. But either way, you can certainly browse all of our content in this platform. So that's brand new. And again, you'll need to join that to view the content. So that's literally opened up today. We've only got 7 people in there at the minute. It's literally just been opened up, so you can go and see that. Now, we've got some other brand new groups. So for those of you who are part of our supporter program, which is our monthly subscriber program, we've got some new features for you. So if you're on the supporter program already, up until now, you would have had access to the supporter group where we run the supporter events. Now, all of the supporter events are neatly organized in here. So again, we've organized the back catalogue of the events by topic. We've got the activism, community sessions, economics and finance, the latest session we did with Sam on the financial reset, the breathwork session we did with Christopher Gladwell, incredible conversation with Eric Edmeades on how to fight Big Pharma, the sense-making workshops that we did with Alexander Beiner, the session with, deeply profound session with Charles Eisenstein, we've got the Matthias Desmet Q&A, there was the session we did with Helena Norberg-Hodge on the invisible hand of the global machine, where she talked what's behind the World Economic Forum and some of the international treaties that underpin some of the key globalist issues. There is just so much fascinating material in here that we've now organized for you in a single space. So if you're already a part of our supporter program, you've already been automatically added today. So you'll be able to navigate this at your leisure. And again, you can simply click on the content. There is some episodes here that we're still uploading. So if it hasn't got the video sign, it means we haven't uploaded the video yet. But by the end of the week, all of our events will be in here for you to navigate. So going forward, all of our supporter-only events will be, the back catalogue will be here, plus all of our new events coming up will also be listed here. So all our guest Q&As, all of our private events will be accessible here. So the supporter program, for those of you who aren't yet part of it, it's £10 per month to be part of that. That helps fund our software, our team, our gear. It costs quite a bit of money to do what we do. We're running at a bit of a loss so far in 2022. So it's our way to ensure that we can continue to run and do the work that we do. So there is a concession membership available if that's outside of your reach. The details for that will be on the about page of the supporter program. You'll also see it here on the supporter program. We also have a pay it forward plan. There's some people in our network who are able to contribute at a slightly higher rate, and they've chosen to do so, and it acts as a buy one, give one. So if there are people who cannot contribute financially at all, we're quite happy to give people access to these areas free of charge if they have no capacity to pay, so that no one gets left behind. And that's funded by our supporters who have kindly chosen the pay it forward plan, paying £20 instead of the 10. But we also have a concession plan as well. Now, the exclusive content, this is a brand new area as well. Again, all of our existing supporters will have access to this. We're going to make this available for a slightly lower fee for people who just want the exclusive content and don't want access to the events. And we'll see that later on. You'll be able to join just the exclusive content for £3 per month, similar to what UK Column have done, for instance, and Russell Brand and co. So in here, we're going to have all the behind the scenes content from some of the events that we go to. You may have seen that we're at the Better Way conference in Austria. I captured loads of behind the scenes footage with some of the speakers and the participants. We'll be able to put all of that in there for our supporters. And finally, a place to put all of our censored content. So we've got a stack. This is only a small sample. We've got quite a bit to upload from the last 2 years. But there's some incredible, there's one of Mike Yeadon's earliest interviews, for instance, is on here. That's available straight away for you to watch. Uploading right now as we speak is Pierre Corey's interview, who talked for the first part of the interview about ivermectin and went on, and then a complete hour-long rant about the WHO, and took us through a presentation about the corruption within the World Health Organization and the various partners of the World Health Organization. Truly mind-blowing piece of content. No surprises, YouTube took it down. All of that censored content. We've got Peter McCullough coming up on there. We've got 2 George Smalley episodes. We've got Del Bigtree. We've got like a 90-minute session with Del Bigtree that's going to be in there later on today. We've got a stack of stuff. Tess Laurie, anything that mentioned ivermectin, of course, got censored. But as we go, we know that there's content that we can't put on mainstream platforms. We have to tread very lightly. We've just had 2 new warnings from YouTube. Russell Brand has also had a new warning. He's gone over to Rumble. We're going to take any content that we know is going to be subject to censorship, and we're going to upload it straight here so you can access it here. So we're going to have the behind the scenes content. We'll all have our censored content, and going forward, all of our new interviews we tend to record in advance of publishing live, partly because I'm now a new father and doing late night interviews is not really suitable with a young child at home. So we tend to stack them up, and all of our new interviews that have yet to be released to the public will be available here as well. So we've got quite a few interviews that we did at the Better Way conference, Dr. Jessica Rose, Sukarit Bhakti, and various others. And we're in the booking cycle right now to bring a new set of interviews. So they're all going to go in there before they're published. So again, you can look at all those interviews ahead of anyone else. So all of this is going to be available to you within the exclusive content section. You'll be able to join that as a standalone for £3 a month, as I mentioned, just like the UK column membership. But to join the events, it's £10 a month, which includes everything on here. You get the exclusive content as well. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, I told the story of Elevate Live. That was a 50-day project. We just started gathering that content together. This is more around personal development. You've got well-being content, business content, spirituality, self-help. There is just some AJ Roberts for those you know AJ and I have known each other for several years. AJ came on and did a session on mental resilience. It was long before he started his podcast as well. You'll see my journey by watching some of these stories pre-pandemic podcasts and how things started to come alive. There's workouts, there's yoga sessions, there's just an incredible library of stuff in here. There's going to be 50 days worth of material. So again, you'll have full access to this as a supporter, a member of our supporter program. People previously paid for access to this content it will be included. So this is going to be an incredible resource library. It's really it encapsulates a unique moment in time from a very different lens to what we did on the pandemic podcast. So I encourage you to check that out. We're in the process of getting that uploaded. So we've got all of this new content. So you'll find our podcast library, which is open to everyone. There's no charge to access that. That's just open access. You've got the supporter program, which gives you access to the supporter events and the exclusive content, or you can also just join to get access to the exclusive content.
There's also one more area, Dan, that will be joining, which is the Question Everything.
Yes, the Question Everything
we haven't started yet,
yes.
Everything else, but really relevant, I think, for the audience.
Definitely. So we've got the Question Everything Lockdown Summit that we ran in July or June 2021. All of that content will be uploaded here, easy access, again, categorized. A couple of those talks were also censored. Peter McCullers was censored, and one other. So again, they'll be available for you on here. For those of you at Camp Out this year, all of the Camp Out 4-day event was also filmed. Once we've got that footage, we'll also put that here. So there's going to be an absolute abundance of content that we've created over the last couple of years on a whole range of subjects, including all of our new content that we're putting out there, plus the early access to the new stuff that we're recording. So it's going to be an absolute library for you, just a wealth of material that you can enjoy and share with others. Once we figure out how to share the podcast library, there must be some settings we need to alter, because these things because they're member only, you can't share these because they're for members only. The last thing I'll mention, and at this moment in time, unfortunately, the software only allows us to put the content and courses in one place, but on the update, it will be separated so it's easier to navigate. But we're also going to include some courses in here. We've just done our first partner course with a gentleman called Sam, who is an absolute wonderful human being, just a lovely gentleman. But he's been in the crypto space for about a decade now, and he's well and truly part of the freedom movement and the truther space. Very aware of some of the more esoteric and kind of things that you would normally find in rabbit holes. He's deeply aware, deeply awakened, and he's put together this incredible course called Navigating Digital Assets. Over 200 people have now taken part in that course, the live course that we did, and we've also now broken it down from the live event. It was a 4-hour event It's now broken down into individual lessons talking about crypto, how to store digital assets securely, building an investment thesis. There's been a lot of interest in this particular subject, as well as some criticism. I'll hold my hand up. You know, people have kind of misconstrued or seen potential pathways to things like central bank digital currencies. Sam makes it very clear this is about sovereign finance. It's about decentralized assets. It's not about central bank digital currencies. And I appreciate we could open up a conversation about that now. But for those of you who are interested in that course, that's also going to be available to you. And we've had a lot of demand for other courses as well. So I was speaking to Sophia during the breakout. Matthias Desmet has expressed an interest in helping us put together a course around mass formation from two different ways. One, in terms of how to improve our communication with others when dealing with sensitive subject matter, but more importantly, how to deal with some of the root cause issues that has led to mass formation and some of the things that we've seen in the world. So, but we've also had requests for other forms of financial sovereignty, different ways to increase our earning capacity during the kind of down economy that we're facing, how to thrive during this kind of recessionary period that we're going through. We've had requests for things about natural healing and health. So it's going to be a place where we can bring some of the best experts who are out there to come and bring their materials to our Elevate community, so you can access them here within the community. So to highlight some of the key changes that I've discussed, starting with the topics, we've simplified this to make it easier to navigate, so we can have that content piece really nailed. And we'd love to encourage you to come and share, you know, the things you're curious about with us and what's happening out there. I know a lot of you are paying attention to what's going on in the world. We want this to be the place where you come and share that with our members. You know, we've got a really positive, focused community here, and people who are certainly, our experience has been very open-minded and willing to entertain different ideas, which I think is a beautiful thing to witness. So that's been our first key change. The second is introducing the Amplify Circle group to help us get messaging out into the world that can influence the way people currently see current events. And lastly, these key changes in the content library. So really easy to access our content, and some amazing content within these sections here that we're building for you now. So there's just an abundance of new things for you, both on the content, the community, and lastly on the campaigns. You'll see a lot more here in terms of the campaigns that we're participating in, including the Julian Assange, the Free Assange campaign, the Together campaign on the care home staff that sadly lost their jobs during the vaccine mandates. And there's forthcoming work that we're putting together on the online safety bill, which is another big threat to our freedom of speech. But there's an abundance of campaign groups that we're connected with. Over time, we want to be feeding that in there so that it can become like a signpost for you. So you can pick and choose the things that you want to support, not limited to campaigns, but other forms of action and initiatives that you can participate in. So you better dive in here and see what's hot and what's not inside of here. And over the next kind of phase, we want to be able to invite different campaign groups to come and set up their own groups here within the hub, because we want Elevate to become a platform where you know, it's a place for like-minded people from across the world to come together to share ideas, to kind of make sense of the critical issues that we're facing, but really to come together to unite on campaigns, initiatives, whether it be protests, whether it be online petitions, whether it be messaging, all of the different forms of action that we could take. And then more broadly, looking at systemic change and the initiatives that we can put into place to reimagine the world of politics, economics, healthcare, education, and so on. So what we see here that we've presented to you tonight is kind of the building blocks of a really, what we believe, a highly engaging community that it's not just about sharing information, but it's actually about becoming an active participant in change, being able to take content and making it come alive, being able to participate in campaigns. We want to, you know, using the term network, we want to build coalitions of groups on certain issues, whether it's the online safety bill, free speech, bringing groups together so that we can work on these critical issues. So it's an exciting time if you've just joined us. If you've been with us for a while, hopefully you'll see how this will be beneficial to the engagement on the platform. We've got over 5,000 people on the platform at the minute, but we've got far fewer than that communicating on a daily basis. So our goal is to get people reactivated and engaged in the community so that we can start to get people involved in some of the key external work that will make the difference in the world. The last thing I want to share on a practical note is how to manage your profile and notifications. Now, unfortunately, the software, when you join the Elevate network, it's outside of our control at this point. It automatically, I think, turns on all of your notifications. So my apologies if your inbox is repeatedly flooded by stuff from us. I want to show you now how to manage that, because like me, I'm sure, sometimes it's good to get notifications, other times it's a royal pain. So when you go to your profile, you can view your profile here and you can edit your profile. You can update your name, your bio, about yourself. You can put your web links in there, or social links if you've got social links that you want to share. You can add your expertise that fills into this column over there. You can add your location, and by doing so, you can help. You can find members near you. You can add, any of the content that you're subscribed to will come up here. Any of the groups you're part of will come up here, and any of the topics you're following will also come up here. So you can modify your profile there. You can also choose your notifications, which I've just mentioned. So you can select email or mobile notifications. You can choose the things that you want to get updates on. Here, there's a long list of things that you can select that you want updates on. If you're part of our groups or our content, it will let you know if there's new content, new podcasts. It will let you know if there's new modules on a course. If there's a new event coming up, you can select to be notified by that. So I strongly recommend, if you're new or not, if you've been with us for a while and you've been worried about all these notifications, I strongly recommend you to spend 2 minutes of your time to go through here and click, or 5 minutes, and click through to the things that you want to get notified by. Now you'll see it's got mobile push. The reason for that is it's not just web-based. We also have an app which is available on iOS and Android. And again, you can go and text me the app. You can put in your number and it will send you a text message to link to the Mighty Networks app. And when you join up via this link, if you put your number in there, it will take you directly to the Elevate network. If you download the Mighty Networks app from the App Store, then you'll have to manually find the Elevate network, which is not a problem. You can just search for it. But if you go to this link and put your number in, it will send you a link directly to our platform, where you'll see all of the same content, just in mobile form. Most of our users use the app as well as the web, based upon the analytics that we've got. So we encourage you to use the app. It means that you can access the stuff on the move. So that is it in terms of our tour.